Have you ever had one of those nights where you tell yourself you're going to go to bed early, wake up refreshed, and have that perfect productive morning? And then suddenly, somehow it's 12 p.m., you're watching random videos you didn't even mean to click on, and you're convincing yourself that, oh, 5 minutes sleep is probably enough because I will catch up on it later. Honestly, I have done that even more times than I could count. Sometimes I will be tired all day, excited to finally go to sleep, and then the second I get into bed, suddenly my brain decides it's the perfect time to remember every single embarrassing moment I have ever been through in my life, or I will tell myself I'm just checking on my phone for 5 minutes and somehow end up in a deep rabbit hole for hours. And I definitely did not learn anything while I was telling myself, oh, I'm learning something. And the next morning, my alarm goes off and I immediately start negotiating with myself like a lawyer, like 5 more minutes won't hurt. We know how that story ends, right? Like, hi everyone, welcome back to the Growth Chapter. If you're new here, this channel is all about self-improvement, mindset, psychology, routines, discipline, and rebuilding your life from scratch, and it will be one step at a time. And if you have been following this life transformation series, first of all, thank you so much for being here. In episode 1, we did a life audit and got honest about where we are in life. In episode 2, we talked about visualization and creating a clear vision for the person we want to become. In episode 3, we built a morning routine that helps us start our day intentionally. In episode 4, we talked about consistency and building habits that actually stick. But today, I want to talk about something important that most people completely overlook: your evening routine. Here's what I learned. Most people spend a lot of time trying to fix their mornings when their real problem is their nights. For the longest time, I thought productive people just had more discipline in the morning. I thought they woke up energized and motivated and ready to conquer the world. But the more I learn about psychology and human behavior, the more I realize that's not really true. The people who constantly have good mornings usually have system that supports them the night before. Okay, let's imagine it this way. Imagine trying to drive a car with an empty gas tank and then being frustrated that it won't go very far. That's what many of us are doing with our own brains. We stay up late, overload our brains, overload our mind with stimulations, sleep less than what we need, and then wonder why we can't focus, stay motivated, or make good decisions the next day. One thing psychologists talks about is something called decision fatigue. Every decision you make throughout the day uses mental energy. What should I wear? What should I eat? Should I work out today? Should I do this task now or later? By the end of the day, your brain is tired. That's why it's so easy to make poor decisions at the night. Suddenly eating snacks at midnight seems reasonable. Suddenly watching one more episode sounds like a great idea. It's not because you are weak, it's because your mental energy is running low. And this is exactly why a good evening routine matters the most. It helps your brain transition from performing mode to a recovery mode. The first thing that I really want you to do is create a shutdown ritual. This is something I wish I learned like a couple of years ago. Most of us physically stop working, but mentally we are still carrying like our entire day around in our head. We are thinking about the emails, unfinished tasks, tomorrow's responsibilities, all the to-dos, conversation we had, and problems we haven't solved yet. Your brain needs a signal that says like, hey, your workday is over. A simple way to do this is spending 5 minutes writing down everything that's in your mind, also known as brain dump. Write tomorrow's task, write all the reminders, write anything that's worrying you, everything that's going on in your head. The goal isn't to solve everything. The goal is to stop carrying it around in your head. Think of it like taking 20 tabs off your mental browser and finally closing them. The second step is simply reducing stimulation before bed, and honestly, this is where most of us struggle the most. We spend the last hour of our day staring at the screen and then expect our brain to immediately fall asleep. Imagine drinking a cup of coffee and then being surprised that you're still awake. That's basically what we are doing when we flood our brain with endless videos, notification, and content right before our bed. And research shows that the bright screen and constant stimulation can delay the release of something called melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate the sleep. But even beyond the science, think about how you feel after 30 minutes of scrolling versus 30 minutes of reading, journaling, or listening to a calming music. One leaves your brain racing, the other helps to slow it down. The third step is preparing tomorrow's environment tonight. This is one of the simple psychological tricks you can use. If you want to work out tomorrow, set up your workout clothes tonight. If you want to journal in the morning, leave your journal on your desk. If you want to drink more water, put a water bottle next to you. The reason this works is because behaviors is often determined by environment more than the motivation. We like to think success comes by willpower from all the motivation, but most of the time it comes from taking good decisions earlier and easier. The fourth step is something that completely changed my relationship with sleep. Stop viewing sleep as the thing you do after everything else is finished. Start viewing sleep as an investment in tomorrow. For years, I treated sleep like it was optional. I thought successful people just slept less and got more things done. But the science tells a completely different story. Sleep affects your mood, focus, energy, decision making, productivity, and even the ability to handle your stress. In other words, almost everything we are trying to improve in this series becomes harder when your sleep is deprived. And finally, I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. Give yourself permission to slow down. We live in a culture that constantly telling us to do more, achieve more, stay productive every single second of your day. But humans aren't machines. We aren't operating at the full speed 24/7 every single day. Recovery isn't laziness. Recovery is a part of the growth. Think about athletes. They don't get stronger during the workouts. They get stronger during the recovery mode. The same thing happens with your mind. Some of your best thinking, healing, and growth happens when you allow yourself to rest a little. If there is one thing I hope you take away from this episode is this: don't underestimate the power of a good evening routine. Your night shapes your morning shapes your day, and your days ultimately shapes your entire life. Real transformation isn't about just how you start your day, it's also about how you end it. So, here is your challenge for this week. Don't try to build the perfect evening routine overnight. Just choose one thing at a time. Maybe it's putting your phone away for 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's writing down tomorrow's priority. Maybe it's creating consistent bedtime. Start small and stay consistent, because just like each and every other change we have talked about in this series, it's not the big dramatic action that transforms your life. It's the small actions you repeat every single day. And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and join me for the next part of the life transformation series. We are not trying to become perfect here. We are trying to become better one step at a time. And thank you so much for listening to me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, bye.